What's up, you guys? We're back in Dallas and welcome back to the channel.
Now today is a big day because we're not looking at one car, we're not looking at two cars, we're looking at 3 different cars.
At the same place.
But first, we gotta go drop off this car at our lot because it is going out on a rental this evening. I missed these Toyota Yarises while we were gone, and it is good to be back and back to running the Turo fleet. So now this one is good to go.
So now that Aubrey and I are back from our trip, the van is out of our hair, our fleet is getting utilized properly, and everything is good to go, we have started putting a huge immense pressure on searching for cars, and wouldn't you know it, we're on the first business day and Aubrey's found 3 of them.
Now, almost immediately after HP and I returned from our trip, I started looking for cars to buy. And last night, I was actually looking on Facebook Marketplace and I found 3 cars that I really liked. A Scion, a Toyota Yaris, and a Toyota Prius. And come to find out, they're all being sold by the same guy. So I actually sent the guy a message and I said, hey, I see that you are selling these 3 cars. Would you be interested in working out a deal? And he said, yes, he would be, but that he would want to work out the deal in person. So we're actually able to get the Carfax reports from him. Everything checks out. These cars are super clean, and we're gonna try to see if we can get 3 cars today.
So the total purchase price of all 3 cars totals up to $25,000 plus tax, title, and license. And to be completely honest, we're not interested in paying that much, especially not in one day.
So we're gonna be throwing out the offer, something in the $19,000 to $20,000 range, which I think is a little bit of wishful thinking. So if I was a betting person, I would probably guess that we're gonna be walking away with either 1 or 2 cars today, but I definitely think that we'll be walking away with something.
Howdy. What's up? Yeah, we're here to look at 3 cars.
So here we are in the Toyota Prius first. Now this is a 2012 or 2010?
No, 2010.
2010 Prius with 96,000 miles. Now I've actually never been in a Toyota Prius ever. It's my first time, and it's much nicer than I would have thought it would have been.
It is kind of nice. It's kind of like nice and flowy. It's nice and spacious. These years were actually really nice. If I remember correctly, this is the first year of like the 2nd generation Prius. So they have a lot of updates, and this kind of looks more futuristic. That's broken, I found out. It's kind of user friendly. It's just, you get in, it goes. This car definitely needs a little bit of work, I can already tell. For one, the window is bugging out. It doesn't like when you put it in auto and it keeps rolling down. The steering alignment is kind of off. And I think the wheels are pointed this way because it's also touchy. And that's what I can tell so far. How do you feel? Pretty good condition on the inside.
Yeah, I think that the interior condition is actually really nice. Like this dash area is very futuristic looking. Like I like it quite a lot. And then I like how big this is, like how big this center console is. I think that that's one of my complaints of like smaller, more compact cars is like the center console so dinky. But this is really large. And then the cup holder is nice. This storage compartment is very nice. Sort of reminds me of a Corvette.
It is like a Corvette. This is pretty much a Corvette, if I'm not mistaken. And as you can tell, they didn't bother masking off anything when they repainted this front bumper, but it still has damage on it. Now I do know that this was actually in it's front damage, but it looks like they probably just did a quick paint job and that was it. So a couple of things to look at on these cars, especially the 2010s, is that they had oil consumption issues, and looking through the Carfax, we didn't see anything in particular that showed that this car has already had some engine work done, at least under Toyota or recalls or anything. So this could have already been worked on before. It honestly doesn't really look like it looking at the motor mount bolts. So we'd have to be pretty cautious going into this because we're not going to be able to tell if this car's eating oil, and we just kind of have to take a gamble on that. So another thing you have to worry about is on Priuses or most electric cars is older ones, the batteries will start to deteriorate. You have to replace them. In some cases like this car, they will not drive if the battery is not holding enough charge. It just won't go anywhere. Now I have been watching a lot of videos, and for a while I wanted to buy some broken ones that I could take the batteries out myself, get a remanufactured one for about $1,500 to $2,000 and replace it free of charge, and I could flip them, but they're really hard to find, and a lot of companies know you can do that. So we have to make sure that we're not only going to have an engine problem, we also might have to spend $2,000 on a battery. So what I can do now is I can kind of pull some of this stuff out real quick. and see if we can at least look at the battery to see if it's had any work done. It's all factory. There's no marring on any of the bolts, which means that, okay, that's something we also have to look at. Yes, we can fix it. Yes, it will cost us money, but are we going to be able to make that return on investment before it happens? Who knows?
Okay, HP, what are your thoughts?
I like the car. I've always liked Priuses. I think it's a good investment because these cars are kind of like one of those niche cars that they don't really depreciate. You never find them for $5,000 or $6,000. So in the worst case scenario, even if we have to end up selling it, we at least get our money back. And the battery looks like it's charging up fine. It's just a little bit of a risk. I like it. I'd move forward with it. All right, Ops. So with all my super analysis, what do you think about it?
To be honest, I'm really surprised that you think that this car is a good purchase given how much trash you've been talking about Priuses this entire time. I mean, like, my knee-jerk response is definitely that I like it. Like, I like the car itself. I think it looks really good. I also think that it feels really comfortable, but I don't know if the cons are worth it.
They're fixable cons.
They're fixable cons, but I mean, an engine is fixable. Like, anything is fixable with the right amount of money. And it's like, is it worth it? I just don't think it is, especially whenever we have something like a Yaris that is just like, in my mind, a foolproof car. I just don't really know if paying a premium price for a Prius is worth it whenever you do have these things that are risks and things that have to be fixed on this car before it's going to be Turo ready.
Yeah, that's fair. So one thing that happened off camera is that I scanned the codes like I do all of the cars we're gonna buy, and I wanted to see how long this car has been running, how many key cycles it's had, to make sure that they're not trying to pull a fast one over on us. And Aubrey also pointed out that the clock has been reset, which is the first indication that, hey, the battery has been disconnected or something has been reset in this vehicle. The check engine lights are now gonna be hidden. And sure enough, the car's only been running for 3 hours. It's had about 4 key cycles. So there's probably an underlying issue that we don't know about quite yet.
Okay, so now what's your opinion on the car?
Kind of the camp, but let's pass.
This car is priced at $7K all day long.
Yeah.
Like, I would do this all day for $7,000, but for $10,000, it's hard to justify.
It's gonna be ready for $10,000.
But let's go check out these other 2 vehicles. So here we are in the Yaris. Now, this is a 2012 Toyota Yaris. It has 90,000 miles. And the thing that I just love about Yarises is, like, we just know them so well. We have the parts readily available. We have so many of them and across a number of different years. So I think the quality across the Yarises is quite a bit different, and it's improved with the newer models that I love Yarises.
Yeah, I do too.
How do you feel about this car?
I liked it until the airbag light just came on. Mystery. So we'll see about that. You know,
are you telling me that there's a chance that we may walk away today with not 3 cars, but 0 cars?
I hope not. I like this car. Dang it. Is your seatbelt on?
Yes.
According to this, it isn't.
And tire pressure.
Yeah. Okay. So I know a few things right off the bat on this car. One, it's a smoker's car. Leak sensors are going out on all 4 corners, and that takes a bunch of diagnosis. The TPMS light's on, that was flashing. We got 4 aftermarket wheels. It looks like all 4 of them have the TPMS sensors in there, but if they haven't already fixed it, it's probably because it's gonna cost them a little bit of money to get some TPMS sensors. They're like $40 and they come with free programming, but I mean, still, it's gonna cost us about $60 after all said and done, and that's assuming there's just one of them. There's 4.
Exterior wise, this car is very, very clean. The tires aren't my favorite, but they work. And there isn't like any obvious signs of any severe wear, tear, or accidents, which is a great sign.
Maintenance wise, it looks good. Mechanically, it looks good. And the battery's a little old, but not bad. Now we're gonna look at how many key cycles it's had and how long it's been running on those key cycles. What's the clock say?
I don't know.
All right, so runtime is 72 seconds.
Where is the clock on this car? Oh, 5:29?
It's not 5:29.
No, it is not.
It's had 23 warm-ups, that's good. And it's at least driven 346 miles since it's been cleared, so.
That's good news.
That's good. That could have just been a dead battery at the lot, wherever they got it from. Cool.
All right, HP, what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, I like this one for sure. Doesn't look like they're hiding anything. The airbag light, I'm gonna suspect that it's gonna be a sensor underneath one of these. Most common problem is people put a bunch of water bottles or they kick something underneath here. They could have been cleaning on this car and nothing looks really broken, but I think I see a loose connector that we might be able to fix it with. So
concerned about the airbag light?
Not really. No, not at all. It doesn't look like anything's been deployed either. And funny enough, this is the most loaded out, or close to loaded out, Yaris that we've ever been in.
Luxury. Now it's time to test drive the Scion, which I think is my favorite according to the photos. HP is not a fan. Okay, so this one is a 2010?
I don't know.
It's a 2010 Scion Xd. It has how many miles? 121,000 miles on it. And this thing is extremely nice on the interior. You can't really see it, but the interior leather is like dark red interior. There is this fake carbon fiber stickers all throughout.
Ooh.
This is pretty clean on the interior.
Yeah, it is. I would be willing to bet that this is like a Scion showroom car for a couple of reasons. This is dealer added. A lot of them will do this. They'll add in a moonroof into them. So it's aftermarket, but it looks factory. I think one of our cars has
Our Hyundai.
A Hyundai has one. This little trim kit, this is actually one of the nicer trim kits. I guarantee you they probably like paid at least $150 for the interior designer kit from the factory, because this has been on there a while. The seats are leather, and I thought they were pullover seats. It's actually the leather seats, because look at the doors.
They're red.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
But the thing that's funny about the Scion is that there is so much carryover from our Toyota Yaris's. Like, this is the same, this is the same. The radio is very similar, but I don't think it's the same.
The
steering wheel is the same. This is all the same. So there's so much crossover, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's why you like it.
See, look at this interior. Like, this is incredible. Like, this is so nice. Such a sharp looking interior. Really brings up the entire level of the car. And even looking at the exterior is also super clean. HP is very concerned with these tires as they don't match. But other than the tires, the car on the exterior looks good.
So the transmission is making a bit of a noise. I don't like the noise that it's making. It's that of bag of metal. And though this doesn't look shiny, that fluid does not look good.
What does it look like to you?
It looks a little too dark. So what happens is this fluid should be pink or red, and it can get maroon. That's fine. It's normal wear and tear. But a really big downside of that is when it gets overheated, the transmission gets overworked, this fluid will turn black. And
that sure does look black.
Looks pretty black to me. Oh,
certainly doesn't look pink or blue.
No. That is a lot of noise. And Aubrey and I have deduced that it's not there. It is vibrating, but we think that this car actually has a transmission differential issue, which I don't like transmission issues to begin with, but if it's a differential on that too, that could also be more money. And I don't have a spare differential in the garage.
So what are your thoughts on that? What's the verdict?
That might kill this deal.
Okay, HP, so what are your thoughts on this one? And I already think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, with that pending trans issue, the 4 wheels and tires we have a disagreement about, this broken stuff up here, that's a lot of problems. For how much?
He has it listed for 65, but he said that he would take 61.
I mean, that's still 66.
But so the Prius is out.
Prius is out.
Prius is out. The Yaris is in, and so the Yaris is priced at $7,900, and so we could possibly go in and say, hey, would you take 12 for both? But if you don't think that it's worth it for the transmission, then it's just not worth it.
Yeah, the transmission's just too big of a concern for me right now. I like the interior. This car does bring a lot of
the interior.
Good stuff. I would say if this car if it was just all the rest of the issues and not the transmission, I'd probably be inclined to say yes, but
too much to risk.
It's too much to risk. And the motor mounts need to be replaced. The tires aren't good anyways, they're in bad condition. There's a lot of small stuff on this car where it turns a $6,100
into an $8,000 or $9,000 car. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pass.
All right. I like that one a lot. That car has a bit of issues with it. Transmission or differential or something. Well, this car's for me. Let's go talk numbers on this one. Let's go. Well, the airbag light's on, the TPMS sensors. There's 4 TPMS sensors on there. The TPMS light's on. And you know as well as I do, I brought $7,000 cash. And that's what I wanted to pay on that car. I wanted to see if we could do a deal on multiple ones, but the 2 other cars aren't good. If you can get me $7K out the door on that car, that's cash right here.
Because all the cars are expensive now.
Gotcha. I mean,
The prices are going down though. The prices are going down significantly.
I understand, but the auction, they just stay same. They doesn't change.
No, wholesale prices are down.
I don't think so. Really.
You have a sale, because I mean, that guy may not be coming back. And no one was here for the yard or for that car.
Yeah, because this guy, he just left his driver license here. He said, I will come back.
That's what they all say.
That's why
I'm here now. Let's make a deal.
Okay, let me just...
All right.
A few minutes later.
So that was quite the bust. Not only did we not walk away with 3 cars or 2 cars or even 1 car, we are going home completely empty-handed.
But let's go home and let's talk about it. Now, if we were looking at this car 3 to 4 months ago, we probably would have shelled out the money to pay for that Yaris.
Because 3 or 4 months ago, this car probably would have been worth that price. And in fact, we have a few cars that we bought in that price range that we probably wouldn't buy today. Because the fact of the matter is, car prices are going down. This is something that I talk about a lot on my channel, and I spend a lot of time researching, and so does HP. And cars that were selling for $8,000 in the spring and in the summer of this year are now selling for closer to $6,000 to $7,000. And I don't want us to get stuck in a position to where we're overpaying for a car, and then if that car gets totaled or if we need to sell it, we then have to take a loss.
And that's when you know it means a lot, when Aubrey won't buy a Toyota Yaris that's put in front of her.
Well, I actually didn't really love that Yaris.
Was it the smell of cigarettes or the feel of the burn holes in the seats?
I think it was the nauseatingly heavy smell of cologne and cleaner spray.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. My jacket smells.
But unfortunately, this is definitely disappointing. I was really thinking that we would walk away with 3 new cars today, and the fact that we walked away with none was not what I was expecting. I had high hopes for today, and so it's definitely a disappointment. But dealerships are just simply out of their mind. They think that they can get 2021 prices for 2022 cars that are being sold today, and you just can't do it. So it's going to be a few more weeks or a few more months until we get to the point where we can buy these cars at a really reasonable price. And I think until then, we're going to be pulling some teeth in order to buy some good cars at good prices.
But guys, as always, thanks for joining us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next episode.